Today is the 14th week in ordinary time, and in our gospel today we hear Jesus say, "Come to me, all those who labor and find life burdensome, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon your shoulders and learn from me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, before I speak about that gospel, I want to bring your attention to the first reading, which is taken from Zechariah chapter 9. And Zechariah chapter 9 has a theme of royalty because he speaks about the king coming to you, riding on a donkey. And as we know that this is the scripture that's used in Passion Sunday to welcome our king as Jesus comes riding on the donkey, comes to Jerusalem. But riding on a donkey and being meek and humble points to today's gospel for several reasons. But I want to also bring your attention to the first book of Kings, chapter 1, where Solomon has his procession, his coronation. He's processing on a donkey, and he's going to be crowned king. And in that same book of Kings, his son Rehoboam brings division to the kingdom because he was so arrogant and such a tyrant. King Rehoboam had a power struggle, and he says that he told the people that his yoke is going to be heavy and the burden even heavier, that he was going to increase the burden that his father had placed on the people by taxing them. And Rehoboam is relentless, and this causes division in the kingdom because people try to get him to compromise. They try to get him to relent, but he says that no, it's going to be worse. In his struggle for power, he says, "My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions." And that his little finger is thicker than his father's thigh. And he's saying, oh, there's a new king in town. But Jesus says, "Come to me, all those who labor and find life burdensome. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart." Jesus is contrasting the wicked tyrant king with his true kingship. And he's calling us to come to him. He calls us to come to him. And as we do, he brings restoration. He brings peace, right? Whenever there's division or dysfunction in a family, there's discord. This causes anxiety. It causes an unrest. And Jesus, the true king, reconciles. He brings restoration. He does so by calling the 12 apostles, the new tribe of Israel. And as we heard in Zechariah's first reading, Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom, and Jerusalem will be restored, will be reconciled. And Jesus brings that reconciliation. Jesus brings that reconciliation to us as well by his very incarnation, his divine nature taking on human nature so that we can share in his divine nature. Jesus brings reconciliation and restoration. He brings rejuvenation to us by his very word, right? We can be consoled by his encouragement, by his presence in the word, but also in the Eucharist. So brothers and sisters, come to me is what Jesus says. Come to me. We can go to him at Mass. We can receive him in Holy Communion, and he can abide in us in a mystical way. So brothers and sisters, I hope this helps encourage you to continue to press on for that hope, that promise that the prophets foretold, but the promise that Jesus wants to bestow upon us. So brothers and sisters, take his yoke upon your shoulders and learn from him, because he's the true king that brings reconciliation, that brings true rest for your soul. Have a happy and blessed day.